It's finally happening. Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another one of my death battle prediction videos. And today we're talking about another battle that's going to be bringing all of the hype. We've got Winter Soldier from Marvel going up against Red Hood from DC, and I am super excited, as is everybody else. I actually made a video talking about the death battles I'd like to see happen in 2020, and you better believe that this one was on that list, because this is one I've been waiting for a very long time, and it's so cool that we finally get it. Although, I did kind of know that this fight was coming, one because of the whole Winter Soldier teaser in the most recent Death Battle trailer, but also because a few months back on Twitter, Death Battle actually posted like, you know, hey, who would you like to see Red Hood fight in Death Battle? Season 7 returns in August, maybe you'll see your idea come to life. So at that point, we know Winter Soldier's gonna be in it, we know that Red Hood is gonna be in it, so we know they're obviously fighting each other. And you know, so I knew this one was coming, but it's still so cool to see it actually be revealed, and you know, no matter what happens in the fight, I know it's gonna be epic as hell. I am super excited for this fight. With that all being said though, I am a little worried about this fight. Not because I think that it's gonna suck or because I think Death Battle's gonna do it wrong, but really just in regards to the winner of this fight. And here's what I mean by this. This is more personal than you might be expecting. I've done this fight before on my own channel, on my own Versus series, and that happened like 4 years ago, and back then I said that I thought that Red Hood would win. And every time that Death Battle has done a fight after I've done the fight on my own channel, we've gotten the same answer, and it's happened like 4 times, so that's really cool. However, I'm a little worried that this time we're gonna get different answers for a couple reasons. The first reason is because when it comes to the general consensus on this fight, back then, like in the past, I saw a lot of people saying, oh yeah, Red Hood would be Winter Soldier. But more recently, I've seen more and more people side with Winter Soldier to the point where it's more of an even split, possibly more people even siding with Winter Soldier. And I could definitely see Winter Soldier winning this fight. He's got some real solid advantages, and I could easily see Death Battle, you know, yeah, like looking at all the facts and saying, yeah, Winter Soldier would win. I could easily see that. And the other reason is because, you know, like, you know, as I've been saying, like, basically throughout this whole season, for the past 2.5 years or something like that, DC has been dominating Death Battle. They haven't won every single time, but they've still won a lot, like, for the past 2.5 years. And I know that, you know, Death Battle sometimes likes to place their fights in a specific way so that one franchise isn't winning, you know, again and again and again. So, you know, that makes me think, okay, so that means that the DC character's probably going to lose here because, you know, the trend. So yeah, well, we're just looking at it from like a straight meta perspective, you know, I think that it's safer to go with Winter Soldier. I have a feeling just that Winter Soldier will win. If, like, without even doing any research, it just feels like that's what's gonna end up happening. With that being said, though, I am going to go with Red Hood in this fight. That I'm just going to say right now, Red Hood is my prediction. One, because I want that 4-year-old video to be correct, because I'm petty like that. And two, because as of right now, I still personally believe that Red Hood would win this fight, even if the general consensus, or most of the general consensus, says otherwise. You know, I'm fully expecting to get this one wrong, honestly, because again, it feels like a lot of people are going for Winter Soldier, and it seems like Winter Soldier will win. But, you know, my integrity as a versus debater forces me to say what I personally feel, even if it's against the general consensus. So I'm going with Red Hood in this one. And, you know, well, it's easy for people to say, oh, well, you know, Winter Soldier is just an enhanced version of Red Hood, which is true to an extent, but not to the extent that I think a lot of people believe it is. Regardless, though, let's actually get into the specifics and talk about this fight. One thing that I know that's going to happen with this fight is that a lot of people are going to be debating each other when it comes to who's the better fighter, who's the better marksman, who's the better assassin, you know, etc., etc. And these are the kinds of arguments that aren't going to be settled until Death Battle actually makes a judgment on them. There's not going to be some sort of general consensus like, oh, you know, Winter Soldier's the better fighter or Red Hood's the better fighter or something, you know? Like, people are actively going to be arguing that the whole way through. So, you know, for me, I am going to talk about those areas, but I'm going to focus more on the stuff that I can say more confidently, like stuff, you know, like the physical categories and, you know, stuff like, I don't know, versatility and stuff like that. I'm going to talk more about those rather than the stuff that could be more up for debate. I'll still talk about those, but not quite as in-depth. One thing I want to say right off the bat when it comes to Red Hood and his advantages is that when it comes to the characters fighting long range, like fighting with their guns from a distance and stuff like that, I think that puts Red Hood at the advantage for a couple reasons. The first first reason is just when it comes to their respective levels of defense against weaponry and stuff like that. You know, they're both great marksmen, there's no doubt about that, but regardless of who's technically the better marksman, you know, Red Hood is wearing much more, you know, protective body armor around his whole body too. His whole entire body armor is completely bulletproof, including his head, you know, unlike Winter Soldier. When it comes to his head, like, the hood is technically a bulletproof helmet, like, again, like with the rest of his body. And from my understanding, Winter Soldier doesn't wear any sort of, like, body armor that has that level of defense against weaponry like that, except when it comes to the arm, because that's bulletproof, but we'll talk about the metal arm later. So yeah, just like, Winter Soldier probably has more defense when it comes to just, like, impact forces. Like, he might have more durability in that sense. But when it comes to, like, weapons versus weapons, like piercing weapons, bullets, you know, etc., I feel like from that perspective, Red Hood just has more defense and more ways to defend against weaponry like that, which is obviously going to be extremely important in a fight like this. And the other reason why I say that Jason is better when it comes to long range is because of their respective arsenals. Yeah, they both have guns, they both have grenades, they both have blades, you know, all that standard assassin equipment. But when it comes to Red Hood's arsenal, when looking at it at its best, you know, a lot of the times he carries weapons that, it's not to the same extent as Batman's utility belt, but there are some gadgets that are derived from Batman, so that overall puts his versatility level higher than Winter Soldier's, again, in an overall sense. You know, and ultimately versatility doesn't always mean much, but when you look at how powerful his weapons are, they're actually surprisingly powerful. Like, you look at his handguns, and his handguns are powerful enough to fire bullets that can, like, pierce through thick metal and armor and, you know, machinery and stuff like that. Like, they're more powerful than regular handguns. And that's not some sort of, like, weird artistic choice or anything like that. Like, it's actually said to the reader that they're some of the most powerful handguns made on Earth. So not only does Red Hood have better defense against weaponry like that, but his guns are actually more powerful than your standard guns and firearms. You know, like, more so than Winter Soldier's, definitely, because we haven't seen Winter Soldier's weaponry do anything insane like that, to my knowledge. So there's definitely that. And his blade as well, like the blades that that Red Hood carries are sharp enough to, you know, cut through armor like Deathstroke's. And Deathstroke's armor is, you know, made of stuff that's stronger and lighter than titanium and, you know, self-regenerative. So that's definitely impressive as well. So unless, you know, Winter Soldier is wearing some sort of weird adamantium armor that I've never heard of before, you know, I don't see Winter Soldier being able to defend very well against weaponry like that, like guns and knives, whereas, you know, Red Hood has the body armor that can definitely protect from stuff like that. And when it comes to the All Blades, because of course we have to talk about the All Blades, I have no idea what Death Battle is going to do with that. You know, like, I don't think, in the DC universe, I don't think they're always there, and even when they are, like, in terms of, like, timelines and stuff like that, and even when they are there, I think they varied from timeline to timeline. So I don't really know how Death Battle is going to handle it. If they're going with, like, the most powerful version of the All Blades, then, like, yeah, that definitely puts his deadliness with weaponry, like, extremely higher than Winter Soldier's. But I'm not going to touch on it too much because, again, I'm not really sure how Death Battle is going to handle it. And personally, yes, I do believe that Red Hood is the overall better fighter. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but at the same time, people are going to disagree with me no matter what I say, so I'm just going to say what I feel. So when it comes to their fighting ability, yeah, they're both extremely impressive, Winter Soldier included. Like, I think he's normally depicted as being, you know, not quite as good, but almost as good as Captain America, if not, like, directly on par. And even then, he's been able to fight some insanely skilled opponents, like Wolverine, you know, and that's no easy feat at all. Wolverine is extremely skilled in a ton of different martial arts. But when you look at Red Hood, you know, again, like all the other Robins, he's had extreme thorough training by Batman. He's fought practically every single master martial artist in the DC universe, and even beaten some on some occasions. Like, we're talking like Deathstroke, you know, Nightwing, Batman himself. I could keep going. There are so many master martial artists, and the experience he's had with that is definitely, like, insane. And sure, being trained by Batman doesn't make you Batman. You know, it doesn't mean you're as skilled as Batman. But Batman, when he was young, actually took a trip around the world, you know, trying to learn from all the best martial artists in the world and try to become even better. And yeah, Jason actually did the exact same thing. After he was done with Batman, he took a trip around the world trying to learn from the best martial artists. So, you know, yeah, he's not Batman, but if there was one Robin who is going to be extremely close to Batman in terms of fighting ability, it's going to be Jason. So yeah, I feel like all of that training from very different areas of the world is definitely going to put him on an extremely high level in terms of fighting ability. And I don't think, it's a huge gap in terms of quality when it comes to their levels of fighting ability, but I personally think that Red Hood is slightly better just based on all the angles he's gotten training from. So that would definitely allow Red Hood to keep up if they were fighting up close, but as I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for me to say, Winter Soldier is definitely a lot better when it comes to fighting up close. If Red Hood is better when it comes to fighting from a distance, Winter Soldier is definitely better when it comes to fighting up close, mostly thanks to his undeniably superior strength and overall stamina, thanks to not only the Infinity Formula that he has running through his body, but also the metal arm. Now, the Infinity Formula is not the exact same as the Super Soldier Serum. It's not quite up to par with that. So he's not quite as strong or as fast as Captain America, but the Infinity Formula still enhances his physical capabilities substantially, definitely it makes him stronger than Red Hood, and overall it gives him more stamina than Red Hood. And the metal arm, that is definitely superhuman. Like, that makes him superhuman in that one arm. Like, there's no way around it. That's definitely what it is. And not only does that give him superhuman striking power, but it also has some other special properties, like, emitting electricity, like an EMP type thing. So, that could definitely short out any electronic equipment that Red Hood is carrying with him, but that would theoretically do the same to Winter Soldiers if he was carrying any, And, that's really how I see it. When it comes to fighting from a distance, Red Hood is much better suited to win because, even though they're both great marksmen, Winter Soldier doesn't have the same level of defense against those kinds of weaponry, that Jason has. And Jason actually has more powerful weaponry, it seems, so, that definitely puts it even more in his favor. But when it comes to fighting up close, even if Jason is the better fighter, and that's not even concrete, even if he is the better fighter, just in terms of overall strength and stamina, and that arm especially, that could definitely put Jason at a disadvantage, if he keeps, just attacking him with that arm. So that's kind of how I see this fight just as at face value, but there's still some more things to consider. For those of you guys that don't know, Red Hood sometimes injects a venom-like substance into his body, like venom like Bane, that increases his physical capabilities but doesn't have a negative impact on his mind, which I have no idea whether or not Death Battle is going to include because it's a much more obscure trait for Red Hood than what he's typically known for. But at the same time, they have used more obscure traits about characters, even if it's just like a gadget or part of their arsenal or something like that. They have been known to use stuff like that. And if they do include that, then his overall, strength level and his physical capabilities, match Winter Soldier's, if not putting them even further than that, But even if they don't include the venom for Red Hood, he's still been able to take on characters significantly out of his league when it comes to strength. Like, most notably Deathstroke, who has a meta-human level of strength, Again, like, that's matching Winter Soldier's, if not matching Captain America's, It's at very least approaching the Marvel Super Soldier level, you know what I mean? It's definitely at least approaching Captain America's, if not dead on with Captain America. So, in terms of how Red Hood's going to stack up to Winter Soldier, the Infinity Formula strength isn't really what worries me. It's more so the arm, because again, that arm is like, it's the best tool that Winter Soldier has in terms of offense and defense, because again, like the whole superhuman strength thing and the fact that it is bulletproof, and it would overall be the best way to get past Red Hood's durability. And another big thing we have to keep in mind is Red Hood's rage, because when he starts losing on the battlefield, he can really become more sloppy in his approach, especially in terms of his fighting ability. And I could definitely see Death Battle using that against Red Hood, saying that if the fight went on for so long, Red Hood would just become sloppier, and with Winter Soldier and enhanced stamina, he would just be able to, take him down. And there's also the fact that Red Hood works best while under prep time. Not to say that he can't fight if he doesn't have prep time, he can still use all of his abilities and all of his talents to the best of their ability, everything like that, and he definitely knows how to, but it's more like, Red Hood typically works while he's under a plan, when he studies his opponent and when he's able to just, play them right into his hands with prep time. He has fought characters like Winter Soldier before, so, I don't want to say that he wouldn't have any chance against Winter Soldier, because he definitely has that experience for a one-on-one random encounter. He just doesn't work the best when he's not under prep time. And then there's some more wild cards that could pop up in this fight. Like, Winter Soldier has used a lot of interesting technology, like when he was the Man on the Wall, but that title is more so associated with Nick Fury, so I don't really think they're going to give him the Man on the Wall tech that he had when he was holding that title. And when it comes to Red Hood, he's also had some alien technology apparently, but like he's created it himself. But again, I don't know whether or not Death Battle's going to include that, because that's way more obscure, and I don't think he carries it on him all the time. But if they're looking at their arsenals at their maximum, you know, potential, then who knows, maybe they'll include everything, you know, it's hard to say. So there are actually some really interesting variables here, some really like big wild cards that I didn't anticipate this fight was going to have. And this is especially when it comes to Red Hood. There are some things they might include and some things they might not include, and it's really hard to say. I'm sure Death Battle might, you know, give some notice on what they're going to include and what they're not going to include, as they sometimes do before fights, but they definitely haven't done it yet, or at least not to my knowledge, so it's really hard to say. If Red Hood is given any combination of the wild card stuff, like the alien tech or the all blades or the venom or anything like that, then, you know, that could definitely put the fight more in his favor. But again, it's hard to say what Death Battle is going to use. But worst case scenario for Red Hood, if they don't include any of that stuff, then I say the Winter Soldier has the advantage in terms of strength, especially in that arm, you know, overall stamina, and probably reflexes as well, but that's a little hard to say, because Death Battle likes to talk more about a character's feats rather than looking at classification versus classification. Because when we're looking at it like that, yeah, Winter Soldier should be faster because he's like an infinity formula soldier. But, you know, they like to look more at feats, and DC has some ridiculous speed feats with their characters, but then again, so does Marvel as well. And I don't know all the speed feats, so I don't want to say anything, you know, for sure, but he may also have the advantage in reflexes. That's definitely possible. But when it comes to Red Hood, I say that Red Hood has the overall defense advantage, especially when it comes to defending against weapons. He's got the more versatile and more powerful arsenal overall. He's got the better fighting ability, in my opinion, and I just think he's overall the better tactician and the better assassin overall. I personally believe that, you know, aside from the whole rage control thing. And he may also have more experience with the whole, again, like when it comes to training, like training around the world, but again, that's kind of hard to say. That's a bit of a toss-up. But yeah, so they seem to be about evenly matched in terms of just, you know, who holds advantages where. But again, you know, with Red Hood, I feel like, you know, he's taken on characters with that kind of strength level, you know, with the Infinity Formula level strength, you know, again, with fighting characters like Deathstroke. So I feel like the advantages that Winter Soldier has is more stuff that Red Hood has seen before, you know? Whereas when it comes to Winter Soldier, I feel like it's going to be tough for him to get past that armor. You know, his best shot at getting past that armor is the arm, and I feel like, you know, if Red Hood can just keep his distance and play it safe, then it's going to put Winter Soldier in a bad position. Again, if he just keeps his distance, I feel like, you know, Winter Soldier's not going to have too many reliable options for getting past that armor. Again, when fighting long range, Red Hood has the advantage. When fighting close range, Winter Soldier has the advantage. The arm especially is the biggest roadblock for Jason. Like, that could definitely do some serious damage to him easily, especially if Winter Soldier gets the drop on Jason more times than not. But ultimately, I want to say that Jason's overall fighting ability, tactical ability, and just experience in general would allow him to stay in the game long enough to figure out what he has to do, to figure out how to work around his opponent. And the best way to do that is to keep his distance. Really, the best shot that Winter Soldier has at getting past his bulletproof armor, getting past Red Hood's bulletproof armor, is with the arm. And, you know, as soon as Jason figures that out, he knows how to keep his distance, and then again, Winter Soldier, I feel, with his other equipment, is not going to be able to do too much damage to him. Whereas on the flip side, Red Hood standard equipment should easily be able to get past Winter Soldier's durability, and it should be able to put him down for good. This is very much a toss-up of a fight for me, and again, looking at it from a meta perspective, I just have a feeling that Winter Soldier's going to win. Like, I feel like, you know, Death Battle's going to be able to reason it out that way, and like, yeah, you know, if they believe that, I can totally see that. Winter Soldier has some really solid advantages over Jason. There's no denying that. But ultimately, again, I have to go with what I personally feel, and screw it, I'm going with Red Hood. I'm going into this expecting completely to be wrong. Don't get me wrong. But again, I have to go with what I believe, and as of right now, I personally believe that Red Hood will win. You can let me know why I'm wrong down in the comments below, because it seems like the general consensus says Winter Soldier, but I'm going with Red Hood. You may hate away. Anyway, that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like, comment your comments down below, subscribe if you could too, that would be amazing. I'm really excited for this fight, no matter who wins, Jason or Bucky. I'm super excited for this fight. So, you know, I hope you guys are too. I think it's going to be awesome. Live action, that's definitely going to be awesome. So yeah, that's it for me. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.